everybody. My name is Jonathan, and welcome to Barely Unboxed. We are back today with a Masters of the Universe video for MotU Mondays. And today we have the series of Masters of the Universe X Thundercats. This is Wave 2. If you want to see my review and unboxing for Wave 1, I will put a link to it in the iCards. I had so much fun unboxing Wave 1. Wave 1 had 4 figures. Wave 2 only has 3. And there is a third wave coming out with 3 more figures. And it seems a little bizarre to me that they're already repeating characters. So Wave 3, we're getting another Panthro. And we're getting another Lion-O with different accessories. And then the third character is Panthro Man, which is basically Skeletor's mount, but humanoid. And they did that already with Battle Cat in Wave 1, and I thought that was a really cool figure. And I'm really excited for Panthro Man because purple is my favorite color, and he looks awesome. It is just a reissue of Battle Cat Man in a different color. So it's kind of... I feel like they're already repeating themselves, and it's only the third wave. I was really hoping to see more characters come out from Thundercats. Like, I'd love to see Bengali, the white tiger guy. Maybe, who else is there? Oh, there's Wily Kit and Wily Cat, obviously. It's Snarf. But anyway, today we are looking at these 3 figures, and they are really cool. This is the He-Man version, and I'm really glad to have He-Man to go with Battle Cat Man. And this is a really cool-looking version of He-Man. But here's his barcode. These are actually currently available at Walmart. I was just at Walmart like a week ago, and I'm... guessing they still have them. They had a ton of Tygra at the Walmart I was at, and they had a He-Man, but they didn't have any Panthro. So maybe Panthro is the popular one, or maybe he's the one that's like the least packed in the case, because sometimes they pack more of one character than others. But anyway, I actually ordered these from Amazon, so they are on Amazon as well. So we will take a look at the packaging. It does have artwork, and it shows He-Man fighting Mumm-Ra, the ever-living. And he's just looks like normal Mumm-Ra. And then it says, the most powerful man on Third Eternia finds kindred spirits among the heroic Thundercats. So I think the cool thing about these figures is it's instead of Third Earth, it's Third Eternia. And it's almost like a world where both He-Man and Thundercats exist together. And I think that's really cool. I would love to see something done with this, like a comic book, like a full-blown comic book. This does come with a mini comic. So we'll go ahead and pop him open. And it still does say the most powerful man in the universe for his tagline, and this is what the inside of the package looks like. It's really cool. It has the Thundercats logo like exploding through rock, and meteors are flying everywhere and through space. I think that's so cool. I love the colors. This is so classic looking. Here is the comic book for this wave. So it does look like it's different than the comic books we got from Wave 1. And it says the Power Sword of Omens. So that's really cool. So it kind of looks like maybe they're combining their swords together. It shows the cross sale of all 3 figures on the back. And the artwork in these comics is always really cool. I'll flip through it real quick for you all. There's Battle Cat Man. Looks pretty cool. He-Man looks very upset right there. He's carrying Tygra. And there's Chitara. And then Mumm-Ra turning into Skell-Ra, the ever-living. And then there's Lino and He-Man. So that's cool. I will read this later. And then, of course, every one of these MotU figures, the Origins figures, comes with the little paper that shows you how to transform him from He-Man into the third Eternia He-Man. So it looks like you can do both versions. And I have to say, I think that's the coolest thing about this Masters of the Universe X Thundercats, is that they are made to be swapped into like their normal looking versions. Although his sword does have the Thundercats logo on it, and it's actually different on the other side. I'll show you once I'm going to get him out of the plastic. It's going to be very loud, so I'll do that off camera. So I just have to point out, when I pulled him out of the packaging, his normal like He-Man accessory for his chest piece was behind him. So I didn't even realize that was in there. So that's a really, really cool extra piece to have, so you can turn him into just the normal He-Man. So here is He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe, right out of his packaging. And he's pretty cool. I really like the head sculpt on this with the hair. And the hair's like pulled back into like a ponytail. And then he has the harness on, but it's a cat. He has these cool little leg straps, but he still has like a lot of what you would expect He-Man to look like. He has arm straps too. These are actually a really cool accessory. So as far as posability goes, he does have his head on a ball joint, which is awesome. His arms can go up about that high. They can turn. They're sort of on like kind of a swivel ball joints. And then he has the elbow, which can't really bend too much. It just bends like that. But it also swivels, which is awesome. He has the hand joint, and that also swivels up and down. And these are modular figures, so they're all made to be pulled apart and rebuilt. You can like mix and match the pieces, which I think has been one of the coolest things in the Origins He-Man figure line. He does have the waist joint. He has the leg joints like this, and he can, he could sit sort of kind of, but not really very well. He does have the knee joint that can also spin. He has this kind of boot joint here, but then he also has the ankle joint that goes up and down. So, I mean, these figures, they are just made to pose. Like, they are made to be super posable, to get some really cool dynamic poses with them, which I think is one of the coolest things. And I know I've said that probably in every video where I talk about these, but it's true every time. I love them. All right, so as far as his accessories, he does have this shield that has like fangs, and he holds it, but it goes over his arm. So let's put that on and see what this looks like. I think it goes on this side. So, like that. I think maybe his hand isn't posed properly for him to hold it very well. But it works. He's got it on there. He does have a spot in the back for the sword, so you can put the sword on his back. But he also has a helmet, which I think just clips right on his hair. That is pretty cool. And it looks like a cat. It has fangs, and it looks like it's made out of like metal. The way they did it. It has like this detail to it that looks like riveted metal. That's really cool. Now his sword, like I said, has the Thundercats logo on it on that side, but then it has the eye on the other side. This is a really, really cool sword. So you can put the sword in this hand, and he can hold it up in the air, and he actually has a wrist so he can hold it straight up, which I think is awesome, because then you can get like that kind of like heroic pose, like he's using his power to summon. Now, oops, his helmet fall off. Now you can also kind of position it in front of his face, so you can kind of do like the Sword of Omens thing, like Lion-O does in Thundercats. But I think he probably looks the coolest with his sword up in the air, and then the helmet on him. Now, I am going to transform him into just He-Man, but I'm going to do that when I have all three of them out of the package. I'll transform all of them into this, just their like normal look. So we'll look at that later once we get these two out. So I'm going to put him right here. And then we will take a look at Tygra next. So here's Tygra's barcode. And here's the back of his. He's fighting Panthro Man. So that's who I was talking about earlier. And then it says, the noble scientist, Tygra, discovers that Third Eternia is home to so many wonders, both good and evil. I really like this artwork of Tygra. I'm not sure if I like the face on this Tygra. I don't know. The paint job on his face looks like on the nose. It makes him look like he has like a pinched, very small nose. So I don't know. I might try to fix that up at some point with either acetone or paint and just kind of make him look more like how I think he should look. But overall, he looks pretty good, I gotta say. All right, so let's get him out of here. Oh, and it does say Heroic Thundarian Scientist under his name. He has the same comic book, and he also comes with the pamphlet that shows you how to transform him back and forth between both his looks, which I think is really cool. I'm not sure if I like the Masters of the Universe look. I think I'm going to probably, like I did with the first wave, I made them look just like they do in the Thundercats cartoon, because I think they look the coolest that way. Alright, so let's get him out of here and then we'll take a look. And here is Tygra right out of his packaging. I love this armor though. Okay, so I wasn't sure if I liked this armor, but I think it looks really cool. It's translucent, which kind of plays into the fact that in the cartoon, he can turn invisible. And so that's kind of cool. He has like translucent armor to probably like kind of mimic that ability of his. And he also has a spot in the back of his so he can hold, I guess, a sword, because this doesn't fit in it. And he doesn't come with a sword. So that might be more of like the whole modular thing where you could give him the sword if you wanted to. I don't know. It seems kind of weird that he has that, but he does. So he has a lot of differences to him. He has these elbow pads. Well, this one has an elbow pad on it, and this one's just an armband, so that's kind of interesting. And then he has these leg pads as well, and then the shoulder pad, which is attached to the harness. And he's going to have all the same articulation as He-Man, so we don't really need to go over that. I do like his feet. I think his feet look really cool. And I think his face, especially from the side, looks really good. But when you look at him from the front, because they put that lighter paint on his nostrils, like on the sides of his nose looks so weird to me. There's like no definition to it. And I think that's where I'm having the issue with him, is it looks a little off to me. All right, so he does have a mask that just goes over his face somehow. Don't know how this fits on him. Let's see. There we go. You can even still see his eyes through it, which is really cool. I actually like this way more out of the box. Way more than just the pictures that I saw. I feel like it just seemed weird to me seeing it in pictures, but I kind of get it now. His elbow does not want to pose because he has this elbow pad on. It's getting in the way of the articulation, so that's kind of weird. Okay, so he does have this weapon, and it's his typical weapon. It has a translucent yellow handle, and this is like the cat of nine tails, and these are they're stiff. These are really stiff, but this part isn't. So I don't know if they put something on these to make them stiff, so they kind of stand up, which is actually kind of cool, because then you can probably do like this, and then you could have him like hold the other side, maybe like he's holding his whip. Maybe not, but there's his whip, his cat of nine tails. Very cool. These are so you can change out. These go here, so these go here when you change to his normal look, and then he has this piece that goes on his chest. All right, so let's put him right here next to He-Man, and they look pretty cool together, I gotta say. I like that. All right, so now we have Panthro, and here is Panthro's barcode, and he is super bulky. He is heavy, and I think that's really cool. He has a lot of accessories too. He has nunchucks. He has this like ball and chain. He has this axe. It's like there's so much going on here. And here's his artwork. He's actually fighting Triclops, a slightly different version of him. So I don't know if we're going to get to see this version of Triclops in this line. That would be kind of cool. And then it says Panthro, Heroic Thunderian Battlemaster. So very cool. So it shows here that you can plug the mace onto his arm. And I think that you can also plug this axe onto his arm. So that's kind of cool. He has like this kind of extended arm piece. Because I think it's supposed to be like he's missing his hand. So let's get him out of here. And he comes with the same comics, so we don't really need to look at that. And then he also comes with the paper. I really appreciate these little papers. And then it shows you, how to switch him into his normal look, which is pretty cool. And I actually noticed they have him packaged with the wrong pieces on. Like, his boots on here are the boots that they're showing when he's just his Thundercats version. Whereas the boots that are behind him in the packaging are the ones that's showing on this. So I'm going to have to switch those out before we take a look at them. That's kind of interesting. I wonder how they packaged it that way. Because I feel like these boots should have been the ones that were up here. Alright, so let me get him out of here and then we'll take a look. And here's Panthro right out of his packaging. He's pretty cool. He's so bulky, and I really like that. I really like the way they did his face, too. He just looks so grumpy and really cool. That is such a cool looking face. And this is what they were talking about. He has like this little arm piece here. Looks like he's holding it, but it's like on him. And then you can attach like the axe to it like that, or you can attach the ball and chain to it like that, which that's pretty cool. I like that. And then he has this this headpiece, but he also comes with this like mask that slips over his face. And I actually really think that's cool looking. It looks really good on him. I like that. And then he has these spiked armband, and you can actually spin it. It's kind of cool. But yeah, he's got some really great detail. But these boots right here are actually supposed to be these fur boots instead. So I'm going to go ahead and switch those out. And then here's his nunchucks, which look just like they do in the cartoon. One side is blue, one side's red, and they have like claws on them. And it's an actual chain, but it's plastic. But I still really appreciate the fact that this is a real chain. That's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to switch his boots out real quick. So as you can see, that just pops right off. And then the same thing with the feet. The feet just pop right off. And then you can put that to the side. And then he has these boots, which, do they tell you which is which? Oh, they do. They have an L and an R on these. So my camera doesn't want to focus. But yeah, that one says R and this one says L. So that's really cool. So that was the L, the left leg. So we put the L on, and then his foot goes back on here, and that just pops right in. That looks really good. Now let's take off this other one. All right, so there is what he should look like with these boots with the fur, because that's, you know, like every character in He-Man, Masters of the Universe, they have, almost every character has like fur as part of their outfit. So that's how that's supposed to look. So there's the three of them all together. He is very top heavy, so he's going to take a little effort to get to stand up properly. So there we go. So there's what they all look like next to each other, which they look pretty cool, I will say. I think He-Man might be my favorite one out of the whole bunch, just because I really like the way they did his design. I really like when you get these alternate versions of He-Man where he's just slightly different. I think that's really interesting. All right, so now I'm going to transform all three of them into their other look, and then we'll take a look at that. All right, I got all three of them switched out, and I gotta say, I had some issues. So I'm a little disappointed in Tygra because you can see on my finger here I have like a black mark. So his stripes on his arms are smudging when you touch them, and the same thing with the black logo on here. Like I touched it and then it's sticky. I don't know, it's like they packaged him, like look, there's even some black right here, and I even got like a wet rag to kind of clean him up. That one won't come off though. Yeah, so I don't know what happened. I think maybe he got packaged. Oops. I think maybe he got packaged too soon after being painted, or I don't know. It's really, really weird to me. I've never had this happen with an action figure before, especially like a Masters of the Universe one. Yeah, it's like the paint is just tacky. It never dried. Other than that, he's a really good looking figure when you get him in his outfit. Yeah, I keep touching that and it's sticky. This rubber piece that goes over here was really hard to get on, but I finally got it on. He looks cool. I'll probably keep him this way. Maybe these will dry now that he's out of the package. I hope. I don't know. If paint gets tacky, sometimes it will never dry. I might have to go over it with a clear matte varnish or something, which I do have, and hope that kind of seals it. So I might try that if I have to, and then I might as well just touch up his nose because I didn't like the way that looked. But anyway, that is Tygra. We'll put him over here now. I really like this weapon though. This weapon is pretty cool. So Panthro, he turned, he looks pretty cool. This piece right here, I had a really hard time getting that to go on, and I feel like at any moment if I move him, it could pop back off. But he looks so good. He's probably my favorite of the three, to be honest. Once I got him out of his weird Third Eternia gear, which honestly, I prefer the way they look as they did in the Thundercats cartoon. I think that they look the coolest. So that's Panthro. I really like that weapon that he comes with. It's really well done, and it works so well having the chain on it like that. And then you can even get him to hold both of them like this, which is pretty cool too. So yeah, love him. He's awesome. And then He-Man, he looks pretty cool when you get him. Oh, he's falling apart. I guess I didn't have him pushed on. There we go. Now he's together. All right. So he looks really good. I think I really like this head sculpt for him. I think it's a really nice, has a really nice profile to it. But yeah, this harness was the hardest thing to get on, and you can see I really had to stretch it to get it to go over that peg. It took the longest out of all three of them. Each one of them had their thing. Tygra got paint all over me. I had to go wash my hands. I still have some here on my finger that I'll have to use some alcohol to get that off my finger later. His harness was hard to get on, and his harness was hard to snap. It was already on. It was underneath all his gear. It was already there. But yeah, I had a hard time getting that to go on. So overall, the quality control on these is a little bit lackluster, especially for Tygra. The other two, it's fine. That kind of thing happens with action figures where you really sometimes have to fight with the accessories. But I got them to work. And that is the main thing, is that you want your action figures to work right. But Tygra's paint is a little weird. I might actually contact Mattel and let them know that the paint is tacky on him, and I don't know, maybe they can send me a new one and it won't be tacky. Sometimes they'll do that. Sometimes they're really hospitable and will send you a free toy to make up for something. It's happened before with other Mattel toys that I've bought. So I might actually contact them about him. And I got them from Amazon, so I have the receipt, so I can show that. But yeah, so these are pretty cool, I will say. Now, I am going to go grab the other three real quick, because I kind of want to look at them all together. I have the other characters kind of in their second outfit, except for Battle Cat Man. He doesn't really have a second outfit other than just not having any armor on. But let me grab those. All right, so here is Mumm-Ra, and I don't have him as Skell-Ra because I actually prefer him in his Mumm-Ra look. But this is the size comparison to He-Man, because in that comic, they were fighting each other. So that's kind of cool to see. He's a really big figure. This one is also available at Walmart right now, if you want to get him. And then here, we'll bring the other two in. And then here is Lion-O next to Tygra. And then we have Cheetara. So that's the whole gang, except for Battle Cat Man we have right here. We'll move him back here and put Battle Cat Man. I want to see Battle Cat Man next to He-Man. So you can see Battle Cat Man is a bigger figure, which I think is really cool. That they made him, he's definitely thicker. His upper torso is a lot thicker than He-Man's. You can really see that. His claws keep falling off, but you can really see that from behind. So that's kind of interesting that they did that. I cannot wait to see Panthro Man in person. I will definitely get those when they come out. The Panthro, the Lion-O, and the new Panthro Man, and Lion-O. Panthro Man and Panthro, it's too similar. So I'm surprised they didn't just combine Panthro and Panthro Man together, although that would be combining a hero and a villain, but still. But yeah, there you have it. There is the entire line of MotU X Thundercats. And I gotta say, overall, I'm very impressed. I was really impressed with that first wave of 4 figures. The second wave feels like maybe the quality control is a little lackluster, especially on Tygra. But I really think Panthro is my favorite of all the figures. I think Panthro and Battle Cat Man actually are my 2 favorites if I had to pick 2. So you'll have to let me know in the comments who is your favorite from today or from all the figures from the line. But yeah, I had a lot of fun unboxing these. They have so many accessories. They're definitely worth the money, I think. And hopefully if you get Tygra, yours doesn't have wet paint. That's kind of weird to me. You'll have to let me know, though, if that happened to you, too. I'm curious. So leave a comment. Love hearing from you all. So that's it for today. And then stay tuned. I do have another MotU video coming up in a few weeks, probably. Stranger Things related. So if you're into Stranger Things and He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, definitely look for that. So to get notified for that video when it does come out, definitely subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. And also comment. Again, I love hearing from you. And share the video with anyone you think might like to see it. And hype the video and like it too if you can. I especially appreciate that. It gets more people to see the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care out there. Love you guys. Bye. A special shout out to all my members. Thank you guys so much. Also, thank you to all my subscribers, new and old. Without you, these videos would not be possible. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.